and welcome back to this video series I decided to do. So today I'm going to be talking about Vampire Science, which I don't actually own a physical copy of. I do have it on PDF, but I didn't actually read Vampire Science. I listened to R.A. Mitchell's audiobook of it, which is fucking amazing. Go check out R.A. Mitchell's channel in the description and download his audiobooks, which I will post the link to his website in the description as well. I wish he'd do more. I sincerely wish that he would do more, but he won't for some reason, and I think it's just because it's a hobby and life is busy. But yeah, go check him out. So, on to the actual story itself. Okay, so Vampire Science is basically considered the genesis of the Daleks of the Eighth Doctor Adventures book range. So this video is going to be mainly touching upon the negatives of Vampire Science rather than the positives, because there are a ton of other reviews that touch upon the positives, and I actually do like this novel. I just want to get that out of the way. I think it's a really good novel. I just don't think it's not of the standard that people make it out to be. So let's talk about the negatives. The first thing I want to point out about this book are the villains themselves, the vampires. The vampires are actually pretty cool on a conceptual level, except that some of the stuff in this novel is really unbelievable, basically because it was done with specific characters. So the basic idea behind this novel is a vampire sort of faction war. So there's this whole group of vampires, of new, young vampires and old vampires from the dawn of time. The old vampires are looking for a solution to killing, or looking for an alternate type of food so they don't have to kill humans, because that's just the way it is. But the young vampires don't like that. They're murderous sons of bitches. And they're also fucking retarded. The book makes a point out of them that these vampires, these young vampires, are fucking idiots. They haven't been around for very long, and they're just dumbasses. And then, in the latter half of the novel, you have them killing all the old vampires. It's like, how do you live for 1,000 years, right? You are 1,000 years old, and these fucking dumbasses come up with their gangster ass pants with like fucking down to their knees. How do those dickheads end up being the people to kill you? I don't know. It's fucking stupid. There's also another character named Dr. Shackle. Now, Shackle, though you do I cared for him, but he really doesn't add anything to the plot at all, and sometimes his dreary look out on life it gets really fucking old really fucking fast, man. It just goes nowhere and is pointless and takes up, it's filler, and in something that's supposed to be really, really good, you should not have filler. Another thing that I had a problem with, and this was the big thing that got really old really fast, was there's this huge section of the book where absolutely nothing happens, but for some reason that nothing spreads its tendrils to the other two sections of the book. In the beginning, there's this sort of setup where Carolyn, the sort of side companion of the story, she's not actually a companion, but she fills a companion role. So she meets the Doctor at a young age, and Sam at a young age, and they fight a vampire. And then like 20 years pass, and vampires spring up again. The Doctor and Sam are there. She calls them into action, and that's basically the setup. But throughout the novel, there's sort of this weird love interest developed by Carolyn for the Doctor. Now, this leads to some weird bitchy teen jealousy from Sam and the head vampire, because the head vampire is sort of like basically vampire soul bonded to the Doctor towards the middle of the book, and Sam has a problem with that. She's not happy about that, And she's not happy about Carolyn's interest in him either. And it's really fucking obvious. And the entire middle section of the book is basically about that whole dynamic. And then maybe the young vampires doing their plotting stuff. It's a really long section of the book. And it's a short book, too. It's only like 126 pages. It's a really long section of the book that drags out and is really petty and doesn't have a very big impact on the overarching plot. It's sort of pointless, like Dr. Shackle. Other than that, there's not a lot to pick about it. That other stuff just sort of drags it down from being Genesis of the Daleks level good. And I mean, Genesis of the Daleks is overrated too, but it's rightfully overrated, and this book is not. And I can see why some people reading it, getting into it now, are sort of being like, oh, that wasn't as good as the rest of the Doctor Who fandom says it is. It's a pretty solid entry. It's this sort of weird prototype New Who story. Again, weird, I guess. It's good. I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it over the Eight Doctors simply because, like I said last video, the Eight Doctors is really continuity heavy and this is not. So, yeah. If you're going to get into the Eighth Doctor adventures, I'd start with this one because it's really good, not continuity heavy. And it's just a genuinely nice time, especially if you're listening to R.A. Mitchell read it. Seriously, check him out. If you don't have the book on PDF or a physical copy of it, check him out. Listen to his audio book. He is amazing. So yeah. Oh, and the kittens. What happened to the kittens?